everybody, this is Lisa, an occupational therapist specialized in Palm therapy, master degree in autism spectrum disorder. And as usual, every Wednesday I connect live here to talk a little bit about, my role as an occupational therapist, what we do with children with special needs, and how we work. And sometimes we will be selecting certain topics that are more of interest of parents and therapists or anyone who is following my channel, basically. As I always say, I am more than thankful for those who want to support me, and please follow my channel, follow the social media, share the videos that you're watching in case if you find them benefiting to anybody, like parents, therapists, anyone. I much appreciate your help. Hello, hi Monique. Talking about Monique, so I have a mom who contacted me this week, and it was interesting because she was finding interesting some of the videos that I published before, and there were this request to talk about tiptoeing. I obviously already did a live about tiptoeing, which is available. All my videos, they are all updated in the YouTube channel. They are saved there, so you can always feel free to go through them, watch them, write a comment, so then I can develop it in my next live. Hello, okay, Charmin, nice to meet you. Welcome to the YouTube channel. We will have people coming and going, and that's fine. Like I always say, the most important for me is that some of my suggestions goes to you and you benefit from them. And if you have any question, you can ask me, okay? That's the reason, and that's basically what I'm doing here. Now, as some of you will know, I am a lover of oral motor skills. I do believe that occupational therapy needs and have a strong impact in everything that has to be pre-linguistic skills and everything that has to be for feeding. In some countries, the speech therapist will be the one taking care of these areas. However, due to my experience and to my interest in this area, I do believe that there is no one particular therapy and not one particular therapist that should be covering one particular area, right? So yes, definitely we have to have the separation between occupational therapists and speech therapists and feeding therapists and early intervention teachers and psychomotricity and physiotherapists, etc. But occupational therapy is such a wonderful and huge profession that I am a little bit fed up of seeing our role only with puzzles, Play-Doh, putty, and some visual perception skills and fine motor skills, and that's it. We do way more than that, and we can cover a lot of different areas. So that's a little bit the role and my aim with this YouTube channel, and not only with the YouTube channel, with my courses, with my social media, with my private clinic, which I am here right now. It's to develop occupational therapy, to make sure that everybody knows about it and exactly what we do and how we do it. Now, yes, Monique. So Monique is saying that I watched it already. She is referring to the video of tiptoeing, but I will really appreciate some examples of exercise that we might do, please. Yes, of course. That's the idea of today. I am going to make sure that today I will include, I always do some examples, but if you're asking me for concrete examples, I cannot right now show you exactly what we could do. However, I will try to do my best to show some of the things that we do here, okay? Otherwise, I'm pretty sure that some of the explanations will be okay. So, like I said before, I'm an occupational therapist and I work with children with special needs. Hello, Ramesh. And I work with children from different ages with different difficulties. So I am specialized in autism, but obviously we work with children with rare conditions, different difficulties, learning disabilities, ADHD, dyspraxia, sensory processing, etc., etc. Some of the neurological conditions that are like super mega rare, we still work with them, because I do think that our nervous system is the same. Okay, it just depends on the conditions. Slightly the nervous system is developing differently, right? And depend if it's a syndrome or not, if it's a disorder, obviously it's going to have an impact on the kid's development. But we are here to support the child, to push the child to get better at it, and try to say, okay, what are the priorities? If the priorities, it's a sensory priority, we work on sensory. If the priority it's a behavior, it's behavior. Sometimes we have to be working with behavior therapists. And I tend to say many times that there is no one particular therapist for one particular reason. Sometimes you might find therapy or a therapist that will be working exactly for what you need. Okay. Yes, I'm going to talk just in English, and I am going to refer only today about tiptoeing. Obviously, if you have any other question, you can pop up, and whenever you can write it down, and whenever I have some time, I can answer you. Yes, so hello. Okay, so let's start with this. I am. Thank you. So, 5 years, autistic, nonverbal, fussy eater. I work with him at home with big bowl, sensory brush, compression, swing outside. Okay, so, tiptoeing. I'm going just to refer to the title of today, not always refer to children with autism, okay? Tiptoeing, it's a sensory need, sensory input that it's at some point of the development of the child, it's a phase that the child pass through. Sometimes that phase stays for 1 month, sometimes 3 months, sometimes years. And sometimes I'm having children of 12 years old and still tiptoeing. Now, usually I don't have any kid with who I started to work, and he was tiptoeing, and we, after 5 years or 6 years of therapy, he still tiptoes. For me, it didn't happen in my profession. We always try to manage and to cover it up as soon as possible. However, depends of the age of the child and how developed is the tiptoeing. Sometimes it can happen that there is not much we can do besides maintaining the muscle, and obviously working on the stretching of the muscle and all the area of the feet. Now, tiptoeing means that the child is basically walking on his toes. Okay, so he's working on his toes. He's not flat foot. He's walking on his toes. Now, sometimes it can be that the child is tiptoeing, walking on his toes or her toes because of a sensory need, because of the balancing, because of maybe there is a need of an extra input of balancing or vestibular. All right, which goes connected, and sometimes it's a behavior situation because the child notices that every time that he is tiptoeing, you are shouting at him or you are paying extra attention, he's going to repeat more and more frequent. In my experience, most of the time, it is not about behavior, it's more about sensory. But depends on the child, depends on the environment, depends on the circumstances. You have to always consider these two options, okay? So I will continue. So we were saying that depends if it's if it's a sensory or a behavior situation. Now let's say we discarded that it is not behavior because the child is doing it very often and doesn't matter if I pay attention to him or not, but the child continue repeating on tiptoes, right? And it's walking and he's walking on the toes. Then it's a sensory need. Now, sometimes it happened that, I'm going to go to you, Monique, just give me 1 second. Sometimes it happens that the child will use tiptoes only in barefoot, without socks, and sometimes with the socks, and sometimes with the shoes also included. Sometimes you will have the kid will not tiptoe with the shoes. You will not see any tiptoeing using the shoes, and then once we remove the shoes, the child start tiptoeing. So that is a sensory need. That's nothing to do with behavior, okay? That means that when the child is using the shoes, he's feeling a little bit grounded, and he has that extra weight. So his balancing is pushed down, and he doesn't feel that extra need to tiptoe. And then on the opposite, on the contrary, when we remove the shoes and the child is on the floor, barefoot, or maybe in the ground, or maybe in the grass, or whatever, he has that sensory need to feel too light. He's feeling lighter, and this is the reason why he kind of elevates himself to keep a better balance, or maybe feel the gravity better, or whatever. So he is walking everywhere in any surfaces with shoes or not all the time. So basically, Monique, you're telling me that he is walking tiptoeing everywhere. It doesn't matter if he has shoes or no shoes. While she's answering me this question, I'm just going to continue. Okay, perfect. So when we are having these cases, I'm going to target both cases. When we have a case when the child is choosing which place he is going to tiptoe or not, it's a little bit easier to cover, because that means that he is literally having a need of that extra weight. So usually we will ask the parents to put maybe a backpack with maybe a bottle of water or something to have that extra weight on the shoulders while the child is outside or going to the playground, or basically going for a walk. If the child, like for example, in this case, we're having that the child is tiptoeing everywhere, I will still give the suggestions to use a backpack full of weight. Obviously be careful, he is 5 years old in this case, so we're not going to do extra weight, but maybe a bottle of water, maybe a toy, maybe I don't know, a snack or a yogurt, I don't know, something that is going to bring a little bit more of proprioceptive input, so he is going to feel a little bit more of weight on his shoulders. So a backpack full of stuff, it's a good idea. Now, another thing it could be, depends on the weather and depends in which season you are, a little bit heavier shoes. Sometimes because we change the shoes, because we can be using, for example, slippers or whatever, they are not good, because they are letting the kid actually be more light. We need him grounded, we need him to have that extra proprioceptive input. So maybe perhaps we have to check the shoes, and we maybe need to change to a little bit more heavier shoes or boots, depends on the season, like I'm saying. And a backpack, it's really a wonderful experience to have, and also just to see if that is going to make any changement in your kid's posture. Okay, so these two things, I will continue Wesleyan, and I will come back to you. Okay, just 1 second. So these two things just for the beginning. Now, besides this small adjustment, we have something that is called a heavy vest. A heavy vest, it's basically a jacket, kind of jacket. It's a vest that incorporates weight on the side, on the back, and in front. Depends on your need and depends on the age, we can adjust it and remove some of the weights, and then depends on the child's need, we can add them. Sometimes this weighted vest, it's highly recommendable to do it during the therapy, to use it at home as well, because it will give that extra proprioceptive input for the child to feel that extra weight on their body. You have to understand that when we are talking about tiptoeing and it's a sensory need, it means that the child is missing a sensory input. So there is no other thing besides, like, you can be shouting on him, you can be pushing him down, you can be showing him 100 times how he has to walk, which is okay, but that's not going to change the fact that he looks for sensory input and misses a sensory input. So we use a word, smart feet. So whenever we see a kid doing tiptoeing, we are like, come on, we are going to use smart feet. Remember, smart feet, we don't tiptoe, we go on smart feet. So sometimes instead of repeating the same tiptoe word, we use the smart feet just as a reminder, so the kid will click and will place his feet down. That's at the level when actually the child is capable no to recognize smart feet with actually I need to put my feet down. Then what we are going to use is we can use weighted blankets, we can use weighted vest, and we can be using spiky cushions, which I'm going to bring now, that are extremely helpful. They are very easy to use in order to work on the balancing and provide that proprioceptive input. You have to understand that in tiptoeing, you have one thing, it's the extra the activities that we can do outside of the body, like bringing a backpack, putting a weighted vest, maybe changing the shoes, maybe saying smart feet. That is the extra thing that we can be doing and incorporating to the physical activity. But your child still needs physical therapy. He still needs physical activity to work on that muscle, to work on those ligaments, and to work on that perception of him using flat feet. Okay, so the other thing that we can be doing, it's like I'm telling you, it's actually exercises to make sure that you stimulate the muscle of your kid, of the legs, properly. It's important to have deep massages. You can use the sensory brush, you can use a vibrator that we use, for example, for the back pain. No, sometimes we will be using to stimulate in the legs. Okay, it's highly important to work on the muscle of the legs before actually any physical activity. You can also do a massage, physical activity, and then a massage again, which will be fantastic, especially if you do it before he goes to sleep, because you have to understand that in that momentum you can relax the muscle, and before he goes to sleep he will have that nice sensation of actually relaxation. Or before he will start his day, if you got the time, you can prepare him, kind of warm up the muscle, warm up his nervous system to say, come on, we get you, we stretch you. Now you have all the necessary kind of like structure and activity and physical input to do your flat feet. I'm going to go to get some of the exercises and things that we need to do. I'm just going to read this question. Hi, madam, my baby is 2 years, walking with support. How can I get him to walk without support? Born 7 months. This is a little bit different question than the tiptoeing. However, well, if your child is 2 years old and he is walking with support, obviously the best idea is to continue working on balancing against the wall. You can try to put him against the wall, so he will start getting more confident. You can try to sit him on a chair and have a table close to him, so maybe he start doing some up and down movements, standing and sitting down by himself. You can have, nowadays you have different type of walkers that we use, like pushers, okay, where he can be pushing and walking at the same time. Try to always, whenever you are doing the walking, so if your child is in front of you, try always to hold the kid. Just give me 1 second. I'm just going to show you, if this is your baby, okay, and the child is walking and you're holding, try to make sure that you always hold him from the hips, okay? Don't hold him from the hands. Don't hold him from I don't know where. You don't have to do the movement from him. Hold him from the hips. So from the hips he's stable and then he will walk. Right? So whenever you are, for example, you are in front of him, he is having the pusher or the walker, you hold him from his hips. Okay? And this is the way how we can actually stimulate. I'm going to make you a little tour. I hope the internet will not disconnect, and show you some of the equipments that we have in order to work on the walking. For example, let's say I'm just going to turn my camera. I hope I can do it. For example, a walker, it will be super, something like that for him to walk, okay? Something like this. Then we could be using a ladder like this where you can hold him while he is standing, and you can be actually showing him how to sit down and stand up. Okay, so anything that he can find as a support, that is wonderful. Okay, so that's for walking. I am going to show you. I'm just going to get some stuff so I can show you everything that I need to do, that I do for tiptoeing, okay? So you have a lot of techniques, but the ones that I found the most useful is, first of all, I'm going to show you this machine. This is a vibrating machine that gets connected like that. If you, for example, switch, it starts moving. Okay? This type of machines, it's a vibrating machine that we use to work on balancing, and we work on sensory stimulation. This machine is fantastic for tiptoeing because the child needs to balance his body while vibrating and standing on it. And it's a very difficult, complex activity. After a couple of sessions, you see really good improvement. So I always suggest that if there is a possibility to get, or maybe there is a place that, like a gym that has this vibrating platform, they're really, really good. Okay, so something that it's another thing very useful, it's simple cushions. All right, you don't have to get the same, you can get anything, but most important that they are tactile, soft, and at the same time there is like a little spike, because when you want to work on the tiptoes, you will want that your child actually stands on them. Okay, so here I am, I go up, okay, and I make sure that the child walks on them. All right, if your kid has difficulties to walk on them, if your child has difficulties to stand on them, you can place them close to the wall and ask the child to just stand on them. You don't need to complicate the activity, okay? You can place close to the wall, make sure the child is close to the wall and the child is balancing. This is very good. You are relaxing the muscle, you are working on the toes, and you are working on balancing at the same time. Very easy and very simple. You can get them anywhere. I was doing the brush morning before I take him to school, massage vibrating, and I buy today. It will arrive tomorrow. I will buy the vest. Thank you so much because you picked my question today. Bless you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I continue, okay, Monique? This is not finished. All right, so this is another thing that I always suggest, okay, to do it. A vibrator, Monique, you can get any vibrating or massage, all right? You don't have to get for the crazy expensive one. Anything that it will help to stimulate the muscle. Something that is very good, it's to use also, this is a weighted, ankle weighted belt. I don't know how to call it, to be honest. Basically, it goes on the wrist, or, sorry, it can go on the wrist or it can go on the ankle, okay? So I'm just going to place it and show you. Give me 1 second. I am placing it here, okay? I attach, and it will be on my foot, okay? So I use them like that. This belt, I have them too, obviously, on each leg. This weighted ankle belt, whatever, it's very functional as well. Inside, you have weights. Here are there, okay? You can remove them, you can put less, you can put more, it's up to you. And you can buy them also in different weights, okay? So depends how many kilograms you want or whatever. They are also extremely useful. What I do sometimes is I will put this belt on, so I will add this extra weight on the ankles, and then I will ask the child, for example, to walk on the cushions or on the spiky ball or on the spiky cushions or on different stools. Depends what you have at home or what you have in the therapy. It doesn't have to be the most expensive equipment, but our sensory need, our sensory system requires a lot of sensory stimulation. So more we can add weight and sensory activity, the better. Meaning more we can have that extra weight and pressure, plus some spiky or maybe soft or squishy cushions, the better, because that means that the nerve system will have to first of all react towards something maybe like this and the weight on top. So it's a great combination, all right? And to be honest, this is the only, I will say, this is not the only thing, but one of the main things that I do. Vibrating plate, weighted vest, weighted ankle thingy, different type of cushions, semicircular cushions for the child to stand, sensory brush, vibrator. That's it. Most of the time when you have like a combination of these activities, you will see a great improvement. And also massage. I am pretty sure that online you can find a lot of things how to massage the legs, okay, and how to improve the flexibility. Now, not all the children will like it, but you don't have to start as a professional, you know. We can just go slowly with some oil, maybe while watching telly, maybe while the kid is distracting himself playing. You don't have to be like, okay, you know, now is the time to do the massage. It can be random, doesn't matter. If you want to do it as like I suggested before, in the morning or in the evening, then it's another thing. If you will maybe we can make it fun, maybe we can make it something with a timer so the child knows that it's like a 1 minute massage or 2 minute massage, so it's not going to stay 2 hours mama massaging me, you know. I cannot send you the brand because I don't have, there is no brand. It's not a branded vibrating platform, but I bought it in Amazon. If you, I don't have the link because I bought it long time ago. It's not a secret. If you check in AliExpress, Temu or Amazon and you write vibrating platform or yeah, I'm pretty sure that you will get it. Nowadays it's very common. When I started using it, nobody was using it for therapy purposes in occupational therapy, but it's very often and very common to use because it gives you really good results for general vestibular system, proprioceptive system. Vibration, it's very important for our body, especially when we have children non-verbal or children, you know, who accumulates a lot of frustration through difficulties, no, and different barriers and limitations in the daily basis. So I definitely suggest you. Unfortunately I cannot send you the link or anything because I don't have, it's been a long time that I bought it, but I know that I bought it online. It doesn't cost a lot, and you, like I'm telling you, you can have, I'm pretty sure that you can find it. Exactly. Everything, not just the vibrating plate, whatever you are doing, if it's standing against the wall, if it's walker, if it's a bouncy ball, if it's whatever, try to always adapt to the kid. Now, trying to adapt to the kid, I always say it's not like, today you don't feel like okay. No, we have to do it. Physical therapy in general, it's not it's not something that today we can do it, tomorrow. No, we should do it every day, especially if you have the possibility to do at home. But obviously, maybe we can find a compromise with the kid, and we can say, okay, let's do for 5 minutes. We use a timer, and then you are free, and then we can have a break or whatever. But try to make it as a routine. So it's something that it's not that boring, not that long, but it's still functional. Yes, exactly. It's maybe something around 100 pounds. I think I bought it more expensive, but it's in euro and maybe it was different. I don't know. But it's not that expensive. So it's something that is really good. Originally, it's a fitness platform for women to lose cellulitis. So you can use it both ways, depends. Sometimes, for some mummies and the kid as well. But I am using it strictly for kids with sensory difficulties and balancing issues, and it improves a lot. Exactly, exactly. If you have, for example, we also have a lot of kids who will be having one-to-one, and they have a full day with a lot of different activities, etc. You can always give a break, something to snack, another like little break or whatever, and then you still can do your few massage, few activities before to go to sleep. It's really beneficial. Okay, so I hope they answer your question and the previous question. And like I said, for everything that you would like to work on, walking, tiptoeing, balancing, standing, try always to incorporate sensory plus extra pressure. I always suggest that if your child is losing balance and you are afraid that he is not going to be able to balance on this, or for example the case that we were talking, that the baby is 2 years old and she is not, or he is not, sorry, walking yet on his own, I always suggest use the wall. Okay, so don't ask like, okay, you have to do it. No, we use the wall, the child is against the wall, standing, the back it's against the wall. Okay, so we are facing, basically I am putting my back on the wall and I am vibrating on my platform, or I am using my cushions, or I am doing any other activity, maybe catching, throwing a ball while standing on a platform. So my focus, it's not like, oh my goodness, mama is making me tiptoe, not tiptoe, sorry, using smart feet, but or my mom is making me standing or whatever. It's more like we try to trick a little bit the situation to get the maximum of benefit. Okay, it's very important. If the child doesn't place the feet flat on the vibrating platform or in the cushion, I suggest you to then use the weighted ankle. Okay, so you add that extra pressure, or otherwise sometimes I use my hands. I just place my hands on the feet and I add that extra pressure to make sure that the child feels what's meaning a flat feet input. Because if the kid is constantly on tiptoes, he needs to have the experience of what that means, flat feet. What does that mean that you don't want him to tiptoe? You have to bring that benefit for him to actually start using flat feet. Okay? So you are very welcome. Thank you for following. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for the interest. I would like to finish today the topic of the tiptoeing here. And if you have any questions or you would like me to talk about any other topic, okay, and show you anything, basically, you can just write me. I am on different social medias. You always say thank you for your support and for following the YouTube channel. And I will be seeing you next Wednesday, okay? I always connect on the same day, similar time, okay? I try my best, but today we finish a little bit later with the classes, with the sessions, to stay a little bit with you, chat with you, and obviously help you as much as I can. Yes, of course, I'm pretty sure. I think that he will like the buttons, the numbers going down, etc. So I'm sure that he will really like it. Okay, thank you very much for following and thank you very much for connecting. I wish you good night and it was a pleasure. See you. Bye bye.